Alrighty, in this video I want to go ahead and announce my base building series. Now this is still a work in progress, however we are on video 39 as of the release of this, and I'll go ahead and show you what we've got so far. So as well as the one thing that I do want to mention is this is also using instancing. So basically everything that we have here is all being instanced. So for example, these two foundations are being treated as a single mesh. And if I go ahead and I'll just go ahead and add two walls here and I'll press F8 and I click on the mesh, as you can see it is treated as a single unit. So let me hop out here, go to the details panel. Here we have one mesh for the walls, and then we have the base, which is the foundation. So again, one thing I hate on Unreal Engine 5. By the way, this is on Unreal Engine 5 if it wasn't obvious. So we have our walls. These are both their own instance. We have our foundation, which is also their own instance. And then we also have another one for a ceiling. So if I go back and I repossess, and of course it's up in the air now. Hopefully I build up. Reach up. Yes, I can. We also have our ceilings. So again, everything here is their own instance. So that's just one of those things to kind of aid in performance there. So that way you can, basically the way to visualize this is right now, let's say this was not using instancing. Well, we would have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 total pieces. Now this would equate to, again, excluding materials and other things that go on behind the scenes, this would include the same amount of draw calls. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We would have 7 draw calls right now for a building that is honestly not even complete. And as this building expands and grows, there's going to be more and more added to it. Now with instancing, this is to reduce it down to just 1, 2, 3. So we reduce it down from 7 to 3. And that ultimately saves us a good bit, especially if you're looking at like an open world game such as Rust, where you have, hundreds to thousands of building pieces and buildings like spread all over the place. Well, this is something that will help out in performance tremendously. So on top of that, as included with the building portion, we have the ability to not place down anything else, such as we cannot place anything unless it is positioned where it's supposed to be. Let me just actually start up a new one real quick. So I can place a foundation, anywhere where I want. And as well as my foundations can snap together. You can place down walls only onto the foundations. As you can see here, there's different points for it to snap to. And same thing goes with the ceilings. So we can position them kind of where they are needed. And then if we want to, we just press E on the part and we can go ahead and delete it. Now, same thing goes with the scroll wheel. We scroll through, we can scroll through our list of building options. So right now I'm on the wall, and if I swipe down to the ground, it's going to automatically pick it back up to the foundation, like so. So that's just a rough idea on how the system is currently working, or how far we've gotten so far. This is single player only. I do not have plans to work this over to multiplayer, but again, this should at least get you up and going, because again, this is using instanced meshes, so it's a bit more complicated. Well, let me say a good bit more complicated than if you were using just traditional adding a bunch of meshes or working with individual actor pieces. So anyways, that pretty much wraps it up. Obviously, like if you followed any of my videos before, patrons get early access. So patrons have been able to view this series for actually probably a few months now. So if you're wanting to get early access, feel free to check it out on Patreon for as little as $1 and you can see the whole series. And I will begin uploading these parts sometime starting early next week. And as with pretty much everything else, it'll usually be about one video every other day. So again, that is going to be all, and I'll see you in the next video.